Welcome to the show. Creative Universe Checkpoint Earth presents Christmas, the most twin flamey holiday conceivable. Embodying union wisdom so you can dance the romance of eternity with the true twin flame with ease is not common as of yet. But it can be drawn from the source of leading edge spiritual truth that is accessible through the core of my union. We vibe with the master magician, and therefore I can channel from our co creation that is also aligned with the consciousness of Arcturus, because our soul core, Ianitas and Selenitas, resides there. I call our union identity Solara. Today on the show, we have Christmas, the most twin flamey holiday conceivable. Yay. Because let me give it to you straight. We recently, very recently, talked about the biggest twin flame sign of Western society, Western culture, Western history of the last 2,000 years. And that is Jesus and Mary. And I know the official Christian story is, of course, that they're mother and son. I understand. But at the same token, their image, their presence is the female and the masculine standing like in images, in sculptures, right next to each other all the time in your local church, in your local public spaces. And they are indeed eventually, when you stop silly misinterpretations about them being mother and son, stop those silly misinterpretations. I understand that it's not a full alignment, but the symbol is there as well. Eventually, you will see them as the divine masculine and the divine feminine. That is the twin flame union sign most present in our societies. And I even suggested go to a church for Christmas and feel how it feels to stand there in that building. You are a divine masculine or a divine feminine in your twin flame union. Where is the sculpture of Jesus or Mary? How do you feel about that? So, and here's the thing. Today we talk about Christmas. And isn't Christmas the most twin flamey holiday conceivable? Because, of course, it is about Jesus and Mary, and it is like one of the main story points of their entire story is taking place now with Christmas. So the main story point of the divine masculine and divine feminine, or almost the main one, too. In the story of Christmas, we see that baby Jesus is being born from the mother Mary. That's the traditional story. People sometimes have even forgotten that. I mean, I understand, because we have all these cultural traditions of like Father Christmas or Santa Claus or what have you. And, you know, they have this whole aesthetic and they have like presents and, I don't know, gifts and like cultural things that we do around that. And that's awesome. And it doesn't need to go away at all. But, you know, Christmas is Christ Mass. So we go to Mass to celebrate that Christ is born. And the Mass takes place in church. And Christ is, well, it is the higher self, you know, that is the union itself, the entity of the union. That's what Christ actually means. Okay. That's also true. We talked a lot about that recently as well in other videos. But for a moment, let's leave that beside a little bit and think about Jesus and Mary. Well, that's actually the same. Jesus and Mary, divine masculine, divine feminine, coming together. So that is the union. It is the unit of the union, and they're both Christ masters. So yeah, in that sense, the word Christ is there, meaning the same thing. So there you go. But then we have a little bit, maybe a difficulty with this idea, but like maybe Christmas is really about that the divine masculine is born from the divine feminine. That's a little weird. We're not going to go in the interpretation like, oh, twin flames can be mother and son. No, they can't, especially at this time in which the Christ masters on earth right now have initiated for all of us this new layer of spirituality in which you can come in the consciousness state of it, harmonious twin flame union, that is, and so that you can have it now, what you also feel in your heart, where you belong. And, that's in the time we live now. So, no, we're not going in a direction. But in a more spiritual interpretation, it actually does make sense, the divine masculine being born from the divine feminine. And that is, well, let's look at it like this. This idea of Mother Mary and baby Jesus reveals something about the sacred identity of their sexual nature, of the divine feminine and the divine masculine in general, for twin flames in union, universally. It reveals something about their identity, about their sexual identity. And you can even like feel into that yourself. Do you feel that you are naturally more in the sexuality of the divine masculine? Then you might be that one in your union. Or do you feel that you're more inclined to the sexual identity markers of the divine feminine? That you might be that one inside your union. Because it does not necessarily go via body markers. It's a spiritual thing, twin flames. It's a spiritual base layer of what you are and what everyone is, because everyone is a twin flame. It's a deeper layer of what human beings are. So, what does it say about the sexual identity nature of the divine masculine and the divine feminine? That we have this story of Mother Mary with baby Jesus. So it reveals that the divine feminine is characterized by having a nature that is birthing new things after she received things from the deepest sources of reality. Do you feel like you are a receptive person, that you feel deeply drawn towards, yeah, I want to be a receptive soul that like receives gifts and presents from God, like from Santa Claus, right? There he is again. I want to be a person that receives reality and feelings and heart spaces. I want to receive love and health and wealth, and then birth something that goes slowly, because it takes 9 months to be pregnant and then birth something, right? That asks for a lot of surrender and a lot of patience, like sacred slowness. Is that how you feel attuned in the depth of your being? Well, then you might be the divine feminine in your union. And what does the story of Mary and Jesus say, the Christmas story of them, about the divine masculine and his sexual nature? If you are the divine masculine in your union, you might be this. You might feel like you have something essential to point out, to give. You might feel like I'm this person that wants to eject myself into a situation and be the seed of something new. I want to go into the world and give something. I have a wisdom to impart. I have myself to give. I want to step forward and be in the light with God. Hey, maybe you are the divine masculine after all. If you want to be like the active role in a sexual act, in a tryst, in a romance, in a sense, be a leader there, step forward, make it happen. It was Mary that received some seed of God, of the divine masculine God, or however you want to see it, in herself. And that divine masculine is really that seed, and also the one that put the seed in. And the divine feminine is the one that received the seed and births the seed. So, what kind of feel for your deeper sexual identity do you feel familiar with? Do you have like a natural inclination towards? And what about this? So, if you found that, maybe you can just feel like, oh, now I know my place in the union, sexuality coming together of union, right? Of harmonious union, the consciousness state. So now I understand that with Christmas, the divine feminine and divine masculine did come together sexually. And like the seed has been planted and is being birthed. The reception has taken place and the giving is taking place. Through them, divine masculine and divine feminine, twin flames coming together and showing this sexuality. That's Christmas. The baby being born from the female, from the mother. That is the sexual symbol. It is like complete sexual magic in one holiday. And then, like, this most sacred version of that, which is, of course, the twin flame union. What else can it be? What else is higher? What else can you perceive that is higher than that? Well, that doesn't need an answer, does it? That says it all. So, yes, the most twin flamey holiday conceivable is Christmas. What about that? How do you feel about that? How do you like my interpretation? Let me know with a quick comment below. I like it. Embodying union wisdom so you can dance the romance of eternity with your true twin flame with ease. Yeah, that's what this is. That's what Christmas is. And that's what this, well, card reading is about today, because this is actually, a card reading with our Solara inner core, our union core, attuned with the master magician and attuned with Arcturus. So here I am. We are going to do more stories around this. We're going to look into the cards. If the cards, well, if they agree with what I just told you, right? And this is going to be our Christmas wisdom for you from the core of my union. And let me for a moment explain why we have the possibility to become a paid Patreon member on this and all live shows. You can listen to it and enjoy, and that is fine. But if you want the content of these shows to spiritually work healing on your union, you invest in the messages. That's how you support your union healing. Money unlocks it. And if you'd like to invest some in your union, there's also the once in a lifetime opportunity now to do so in the program Twin Flames Abundance Now. That brings you, besides to your harmonious union, also to your mission as Twin Flame Life Coach, making more than that investment back in due time. And you are invited. So let's have a look at the first card deck that looks inviting to me. After I took a sip from, of course, my Christmas cup. The Mary Magdalene deck. So that is, of course, the more like the human twin flame of Jesus in his walk on earth 2,000 years ago. For sure, his true twin flame, Mary Magdalene, the card deck. But here's the thing. Eventually, Jesus and Mary, his mother, were chosen to stand out in the story. You see, they are symbols of the twin flames throughout time. So, the card from the Mary Magdalene deck that we got for the reading is color, and we see this beautifully colored landscape with the water and the mountain and the clouds and the earth. Yeah, I do feel this is actually a very fitting symbol as well. It's like, yeah, the sexuality of the divine masculine twin flame and the divine feminine twin flame coming together in the full like color scheme of reality of the earth, of the universe, of material enjoyment, material coming together in like, well, how shall we say that? Well, the manifestation, right? It's like the manifested world, the manifested reality is full of this being sexual, that's how you got here. I don't know if you realize that, but that's how you got here, through the sexuality of your parents, to make it very tangible for a second. And you come into the world, and that experience is full of color. It's like a full color version of what reality is, of what life is. It's like yes, let me experience the entirety of human life, human fulfillment, spiritually and physically. Like the full color range of the rainbow is in the landscape. The full experiential emotional fulfillment is in the twin flame union. That's what I feel with this card. Well, I have to say, I love it. I love it. Don't you want to fully live? Well, the only way to do that is through harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state, which is then the starting point from which your physical union experience, the romance of eternity, is being birthed. You see, same kind of symbology as what we just talked about with Jesus and Mary. That's the order that you want to have there, because that's the only way in which it will be a peaceful and enjoyable experience in a sustainable way. They won't walk away anymore. They won't curse you out anymore. They won't stop talking to you anymore. It's just going to be peaceful. That's how that functions. And it will result in the fullness of feeling happy in a physical life and being completely in peace with that. And it's also, this is what I thought about just a moment ago, indeed. I think this is something we really should emphasize much more. This is the only way human beings can be truly happy. People might have the delusion that they are sort of happy when, for instance, they win the lottery and they have a lot of money. People may have the illusion that they are sort of happy when they marry a soulmate, but it's not true happiness. They don't know their true happiness yet. So this is potentially, like the high point of what they've known until that moment. I understand, but you're not genuinely happy. That's only happening when you're with your true twin flame in the real harmonious union. Yeah. So the good news is this is like the gospel, it's like the twin flame gospel. The good news is that you can live that now. You can really choose that. And it's doable. And I can bring you there. Yeah. All right. Okay. I see the angel answers. So let's have a look. Okay. This one moved. So we just take this one. What does it say? There is something better. Well, exactly. There's something better than winning the lottery. There's something better than marrying your soulmate. It's called harmonious twin flame union and mission, in which you are together with your true twin flame and will be united with your full soul's abundance. Whatever that means in your case, maybe that means a lot more than winning the lottery. And it certainly will mean more satisfaction with what you have. All right. So, I mean, like, do we even need to talk about that? Like, the twin flame is like light years apart in satisfaction from any soulmate. So, let's have a look. Both? Okay, so we're now looking in the deck of the roses, Oracle of the Roses. I got two cards. Let's look at the first. Holy Grail. Holy Grail. Well, isn't that like a sexual symbol also? Like Mother Mary birthing Jesus, baby Jesus. Well, Holy Grail. That's where we're looking for all of it. Like Christianity, we're looking for the birth of Jesus. Well, he comes out of the Holy Grail, doesn't he? Stop the endless search. Inner search. Right. Isn't that true? We'll find all of this in the inner space. We don't need to look outside. And that is how you will eventually manifest your true twin flame union with the full satisfaction factor, with the X factor, Because through knowing that it is on the inside, through maybe you are, celebrating Christmas on the outside with all the contraptions that belong to it and the food and the celebrations and the community. Absolutely. But you've come to that expression through having taken the inner route. So you see, that's the same thing as like why I say all the time, you need to go to the harmonious twin flame union consciousness state first, and then what will be birthed out of that is your true union and with a true satisfaction that you're looking for. Wild Rose is the other card from the Oracle of the Roses. Wild Rose. Well, this looks like a very sexual encounter. It actually almost looks more like a triangulation, which is funny because that's not really twin flamey, although you could talk about, what do they say, like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? As the sort of maybe more the fullness of the space where, well, the sacred sexuality in Christianity happens, which is of course the same as the mother the daughter, and the Holy Spirit. Um, Depending on over which line you want to look at it, over the divine feminine twin flame line or the divine masculine twin flame line, depending on how you want to speak about it. And traditionally, it's of course spoken about via the masculine line, and contradicting maybe some feminist ideas, that is actually to be respectful to the feminine. That's why that is done. So that's maybe good to remember. Wild Rose. Let's look at the card again. Follow your own road. Embrace your uniqueness. Untamed. Right. Well, you're certainly going to be completely and utterly your unique self here. That is what is going to happen in your twin flame union sexuality, and how you may want to feel that even more at this twin flame Christmas. The uniqueness of what you are, what your twin flame is, and how you both express that when you are in the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union together. That is a sexuality in itself, through which we also go like back to the full color card that we had here. It will all be full color and completely unique for your union. And that's why we need you to come in union, because you will be such a beautiful expression of God, and we all need you to do that. We all are waiting for you to come into your full bloom in that way, and we're so curious to see what will come out of you as just that. Now that is going to be like the Christmas present of eternity, that you're going to give us by going to your definitive end result of the twin flame journey. Yeah. Through the teaching that God has given me to give to you. Let's see. What are we going to look at now? Yeah, I feel most for the Isis deck. So what does the Isis deck want to say? Isis, more like the deeper version of Mary, in a sense. And what do you want to say about my story? Ooh, well, that moved. It fell out of the pile, so we're going to take that one. And there are actually two there, at least, that I saw. So, yeah, two. Let's have a look. So, this is the Ascension vehicle. I was looking for the right translation of the text on this card. Let's say Ascension vehicle. And that is for sure like the how do we call that? Well, it's like a double pyramid. One pointing up, one pointing down, and then it's like one form. And it stands for, well, it's a healing symbol. And it stands for sacred geometry. And that is the way reality is built. And you can use that as a vehicle for ascension. And, like twin flame union is a vehicle for ascension. Twin flames coming together in full sexuality with Christmas. Why not? It is already, symbology is already there. That is a form of ascension. When you come together with your true twin flame in the right consciousness state, you are contributing to ascension, and everything that comes after that you build together with them in that state is a form of ascension. That's what will happen there. It's true. What's the other card? Knot of Isis. All right. Energetic stabilizing with the knot of the lover. The lover's knot? Yeah, like in some sort of an Egyptian lover's knot. The knot of Isis, which sort of means the knot of, in Christmas terminology, Mary. It is the sexual secret of Mary, which is the sexual secret of the divine feminine, which means and implies that the divine masculine is also there, putting the seed in her and coming out of her as the divine baby. Yeah, this is just like a confirmation about the whole point why we're talking about this. Christmas is the most twin flamey symbol and feast that you can imagine, because it's the externalization of the sexual mystery of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And you see that also in the form here on the card that is drawn onto it, because this is like the vulva with like the, yeah, well, how do you say that? Well, the womb, right? Which shows the form of the female and the male genitalia right on the card, together inside each other. Sexual fulfillment, divine masculine, divine feminine together, union, Christmas. Now you know what Christmas actually means. Let's have a look what the emanations of Divine Mother, the fairies, have to tell us through their fairy deck. So I'm seeing this one and the other comes out first. So we have two fairy cards. Let's have a look what they are trying to say to us. The Fae with the Holy Grail. So this is the second Holy Grail, which is, well, as I said already, like just this enormous female sexual symbol, which is the same symbol as what we just saw here, like the womb. And it's just the same. It is the female sexual symbols in each other. That's the Holy Grail. Well, it just all the time tells us the same thing, these cards. And the text says, well, this is the Fae with the Grail, and it's about fertility and the return of life. It's about health and life cycles. Well, return of life in your union. That's what that is. And the other fairy card is, let's have a look. Catch me, with the fairy stepping from a building, looks like, into the nothingness. Trust, surrender, leap into the unknown. Well, there's always this leap into the unknown when you go into the full sexual experience. Because what will come out of it? What will come from this intimacy? And that's, of course, one of the great mysteries of twin flames. Like, what comes from it when you truly come together with your twin flame in the right consciousness state, and it starts to brew this new life between the two of you in this unit of the union? Like, what comes out of it? Who are you in that version of you? Who are they in that version of them? What will come out of that egg that you are gestating inside of both of you? What will be born from it? What kind of life will be born from it, from your union? What kind of mission will come to fruition from it? What kind of holidays will you experience together? What kind of family will you build together? What kind of business will you be employing your friends in together? What kind of, I don't know, all of that. What kind of life will you enjoy? Yeah. That's going to be, that is the big surprise and present and gift and mystery of it all, because so much will transform into an entirely new life that will spurt out of that, just as though you both come out of the womb of God and then are spewed forward into a new life together. That's what will happen. I promise you that. If you do the correct twin flame inner work under guidance of a correct teacher, in the right arms with the right community, and when it is time, receive your consciousness state of harmonious union. And that is, the creative tension that will be created. And we're so curious what will come out of you. Well, as I said before, yeah, just approached from a different side again. Let's see what kind of nice, beautiful, cozy spirit animal wants to be with you in that movement, that sexual movement that you are creating. Wow. Well, symbol of transformation, the butterfly. There it is in the picture, completely going from into the chrysalis and then coming out as a full butterfly with the beautiful wings. Yeah, say yes. And when you want to say yes, let it be a yes. And when it is a no, let it be a no. Be authentic too. Mary said yes. That's how she received baby Jesus. See, she said yes, no matter what it looks like, even when people will think I'm nuts. I say yes. Yeah. Well, nobody is telling you that you should say yes to negative things or abuse, but think about what that means for the idea that she is showing you the identity marker for the divine feminine um, sexuality. Think about that. Nobody says that, oh, so maybe actually, the whole Christianity is about rape. Well, then you just took this whole spiritual identity conversation into another realm. That's the realm of psychology. That's another realm. And nobody is going to deny that these things exist and that these are more than problematic. But for a moment, we're not talking about that layer of life. For a moment, we're talking about the spiritual reality, which is another layer of everyone, in which you can think about, like, what does that say about the female sexuality identity of divine feminines in their original twin flame union that they belong to? What does that say? So there you go. And I, for a reason, said also with the card, like, let your yes be a yes and your no be a no. Just be clear on what reality level you're going to say that one as well. Because you can very safely say no on the psychological level to unhealthy experiences, while saying yes on the spiritual level to being the full expression of being the divine feminine in your twin flame union. You see? So, okay, so meanwhile, I got this other card from my own union and mission card deck. And it is the card to pull out essential innovation without frills. So sometimes my cards sound like they're more about mission, but they're just as much for union too. So this is the Coach Innovator Y D 1.3. And for now, we're only going to look at it and interpret it. And it is maybe more like this, horizontal instead of vertically. The symbol of twin flames, the Vesica Pisces, the intersecting circles. twin flames. And that's the only answer of true divine sexuality and sexual identity. You're a part of a twin flame union. There is no other true sexual identity that you can have. And that means that you're still free to, on the psychological, physical plane, inside of the spiritual truth, you can still be all the things that you temporarily feel on the journey that you at this moment are and identify as. But then at the same time, on the other level of you, on the divine level of you, there's only, well, this is given. You can say yes to it. Well, this is your divine identity. This is your divine masculine or the divine feminine sexual identity. And that can peacefully coexist with who you temporarily on the physical, psychological level feel about yourself. Good to know. Good to know. So, my own card deck of Union and Mission also has a set of cards that give us healing symbols for the 9 energy points that we all have. And we actually already had this beautiful Vesica Pisces symbol. And we're now going to, well, let's ask for a card, a healing symbol from the Healing Symbol series in my card deck that like heals you into that sexuality, into like the true twin flame sexuality. I already saw one or felt one, so I felt it. So I think it's this one that I felt. Oh, it's 8. And this is like an egg that is in a flame, that is on fire. And it means like a new to be born idea that is well in a flame. So that means like it's from the divine and from the twin flame, right? It's like the union. And it stands for the energy point in the 9-point energy system that I made with Divine Mother for twin flames, especially. That is like approximately the forehead, or more like going towards the top of the head kind of energy field. That's actually more what it is, more the top of the head kind of energy field. And it just talks about something new is being born. Well, guess what we were talking about? Twin Flame Christmas. So there it is. Something new is being born for you. Twin Flame Christmas. Baby Jesus comes out of Mother Mary. Who you truly are comes out of your harmonious twin flame union. And this whole feeling of something new is being born. And if we look at the seasons, the seasonal idea, at least in the northern hemisphere, it is the birth of the sun. The sun is returning because the darkest day has just happened 3 days before Christmas, and the sun is returning and taking more and more time in the coming 6 months until the midsummer point, which is also the rebirth of the sun. So, rebirth, which is a transformation, just like the butterfly did. Yeah. And you're just going to transform in who you originally are, more and more into what you originally were already, and now you're still that. And that is your part of the divine masculine and divine feminine twin flame union. That's how you're being reborn as. And we can celebrate that this Christmas, this twin flame Christmas. How about that? Let's celebrate that for a change. You can even do that silently in your heart. You feel like, yeah, that's what I'm actually celebrating. Isn't that beautiful? No, that's our twin flame message for this time. Let's go to another card deck because I love this. I remember this lifetime in which I was the clan mother of the Deer clan in Native America, and I always love working with the Native American cards. I found this one, and it is card 20 with the bisons and the Indian on the horse. Well, let's have a look in the booklet what this means. Card number 20. Tirawa and the cosmic buffalo. Well, dear friends, the meaning of this card is fulfillment. Tirawa is the god of the heavens, the creator of the world, and the guardian of the cosmic buffalo. Each of buffalo's hooves is part of the cadence of the four eras, moving until it is completely consumed. When the last hoof is consumed, the world will enter a phase of destruction, from which will rise again only with buffalo's rebirth. This is the life cycle and a reminder that there is a proper time for everything. Periods of lack are followed by times of abundance. If things are not how you'd like, remember the natural cycles of life will bring about change. Everything is born, grows, and dies, thus attaining fulfillment. Fulfillment, completion cycles, rebirth, the power of time endings and beginnings. The ending or conclusion of a situation or season. So, the fulfillment of everything is found in its sexuality, is found in being born in a new way, inside who you're supposed to be in your true twin flame union. That is the fulfillment of everything. It is the highest spirituality. It is the highest form of living on earth in the fullness of everything that the earth has to offer. Clothes and food and sexuality and community and resources and houses and swimming pools and holidays and sharing from your heart. It is the highest form of all of these things. And it's good to first make that come true before you go to any new life phase that you would have otherwise gone to, such as, well, maybe I just need a new job. Maybe I just need new friends. Yeah, maybe I am there already because I am already married to a soulmate. Yeah, no, don't do that. First, go to your harmonious twin flame union. And then from there on out, start to acquire more money, start to acquire more friends, start to acquire a business, a new job, whatever it is that you naturally want. But do that from within the union frame, the harmonious twin flame union consciousness state. Do it from within that. And then you will birth the life that is the literal ultimate life. It can't be any different. It's literally true. And you'll step into all the transformations that you could ever be able to go through in your ultimate version of yourself. And you'll make come true, thusly, all your heart's desires. They will come true one after the other. And this is really so. It's not an undue statement. That's the nature of twin flame union. So if that's for you, if you feel like, yeah, that's my thing. That's my future. That's my elected future. Well, you're welcome to work that out, You are. Currently, we do have the Twin Flame Abundance Now year group course, and the door is open. So if you come in, we can simply start you up and you'll arrive soon enough. I promise. Let's see. Let's go to Egypt because why not? I think it's such a rich spiritual history that we have there collectively. And the card deck reflects that. And I think we see something here. Oh, there are 3 cards sticking out. Well, then we take them. We take all three of them and let's see what they have to tell us at this exact moment of the message from me and my twin flame to you for Christmas. Energy, the life flow of the universe. Oxyrhynchus? Gosh, I hope I say that right. But this is it's a fish. This is going to sound funny. This is a fish that actually symbolizes the sexual part of the divine masculine god, Osiris, that together with Isis is a twin flame. And we have mask, the untrue face that will restrict your possibilities. Okay. So we have energy, the mask, and the male genitalia in a mythological form, let's say, of the divine masculine. So it seems to me as though this is an expression, these three cards together, of what the essence is of the divine masculine sexual identity. He is the giver of energy. He inserts that sexual energy, that divine sexual energy into, the female, into the situation, into whatever, into your union, through which the mask falls off of you, of them, of anyone. Mask falls off. Very interesting. Think about that. That is the sexual identity nature of the divine masculine in your union. Yeah, will we now get an expression of the divine feminine through these cards that turned around? Not sure. I mean, it is the next deck that I got. And the deck is called Divine Abundance. Well, the divine abundance being born is absolutely through the divine feminine in the union. So that sounds like a good deck. Well, those two cards already sprung out. So let's have a look at them. Letting go. Well, the divine feminine needs to let go to let something be born. So yeah, it starts to look like this might be an expression of the divine feminine sexuality and loss. Sometimes you learn true offering through loss. You make a passionate invitation for love to take over and bring her own plan instead of the ego's. It seems like a loss, but you're actually birthing abundance. That's what the essence of the divine feminine sexuality is. And through the ego it is interpreted as a loss, but not through the soul, not through who you are in the union. Awesome. And we are now going to ask Mother Mary herself, what does she have to say about all of this? And we do that through the Mother Mary Oracle deck. This is the card that came out, Our Lady of Divine Presence. Beautiful. Let's have a look in the booklet. What that says, card number 14. You have been preparing to receive me, opening your heart and clearing away past shame and doubt. You have been asking for the divine light to be with you, and I tell you now, I am alive within you. Your wish to serve the world, to be blessed by my light so that you can assist others is granted. As you open your heart and mind to me, Your every touch becomes my touch. Your loving gaze holds the light of my own eyes within it. My grace lives in you, flowing through you into the heart of the world. Our Lady of Divine Presence. And now we're going to have a look inside the card deck of the Master Magician with symbology that harmonizes what I have to say with what he has to say. And that harmonizes me in turn with our union core as residing on the planet Arcturus. So let's see what message we get from that one, maybe as a form of conclusion of the whole Christmas message. Akbal, it's really a black card with like, looks like sacred geometry kind of forms a little bit, like circles and like the Vesica Pisces form and like triangular forms and like vulva forms a little bit. Sexual forms. Let's see what the booklet says about this card. Akbal, night, house. These are symbols that it looks like, according to the book. Conscious dreamer, abyss, mystery, sanctuary, serenity, looks within, place. Enclosing darkness, journey into self, stillness, dream time, dream field matrix, dream exploration. It is a symbol of the womb, of the abyss, the dark cave, the bat. Well, isn't that the symbol of the divine feminine, of Mother Mary, of the divine feminine sexuality? Shadow wisdom, viewpoint too internal and subjective. Another shadow, sadness, depression, self judgment, fear of change. But you can also transform this shadow by being willing to examine how you judge and evaluate yourself, by embracing and following your inner shadow processes to learn from their gifts. And the harmonic wisdom is thus integration. I am the darkness that is the light, and the stillness that is the dancing. The discoverer. Enter into the sanctuary of self, the arms of enclosing darkness. The tunnel, as you enter it, always seems dark at first. Enter the enveloping darkness of the womb of self. Sit in stillness here. The internal journey of introspection and integration of the mystery has begun. Free yourself to look fully at your present situation from a subjective point of view. Receiving Akbal indicates gift from going inside to the place of potential where all dreams, ideas, and possibilities exist. Enter into the potency of the Dreamtime Matrix where all things are possible. Learn to utilize this dream time where there is no distinction between then and now, real or imagined, dream or dreamer. All that you are, all that you believe, hope, and dream creates your personal dream field. In that field, there are no victims or blame. You are now attracting those elements to your field that will create completion and wholeness for you. Become lucid in life like this. If you chose Akbal, you are being asked to cross the boundaries of your own growth edges. In the stillness within you, potent gifts form in the darkness. Be willing to embrace and follow your process into the void of seeming pain and discomfort, to the place of the mystery. Sense the possible answers and receive the insights being offered as the unconscious reveals itself. Pay special attention to your dreams. Potent treasures await you in dreamtime, where the mystery of enclosing darkness reveals its face. Shadow wisdom. The shadow of Akbal suggests that your focus may be too inward and subjective. Becoming lost in the house of self can lead to feelings of sadness and depression. Give voice and vision to the shadow and the unconscious. Are you feeling limited by your own internal process or by a specific issue? Instead of resisting your subjective process, begin to transform it by fully embracing it. Journey into the abyss to find the positive intent of your subjectivity or inward search. Perhaps you have issues of self judgment that amplify your feelings of separation. If so, enter into the sanctuary of silence to explore how your present belief systems may be creating illusion. In this evolutionary playing field, remember that belief systems that are ready to be transformed draw to themselves to wade through their shadows. Be willing to step into the unknown. Go deep within. See what jewels might be hidden in the heart of your own darkness. The truth you find in that darkness often holds the greatest potential for growth. The magical child. I am Akbal, enveloping darkness, potent space, fecundity of the abyss, deep, silent retreat, sanctuary, the womb of the dreamtime, the powerful cauldron of possibility, where all exists now. Dream matrix, where reality is created by the conscious of dreamers. Place of remembrance of the formless, sounding the great mystery of being in form. The stillness that is the dancing. I beckon you to merge with me, to go within, to free your illusions of pain, sadness, judgment, limitation, forgetting. That the gifts of release, the glimmer of light at the tunnel's end, might be yours. That the expansive vessel of the essence self might be raised to your eager lips, and your reunion tenderly celebrated in the sanctuary of my warmth, my darkness, my peace. And now we're going to have a look to close it off completely. Which angel wants to help us as well at this place? Angel 56 of the 72 angels of God. Fewayo is the angel's name. And the name means God who sustains everything. The angel comes with luck and success, with true support, with modesty and simplicity too. It carries altruism, the gifts of providence, ideas and positive atmospheres. It's about talent, fame, and celebrity lived with humility. Healing, health, and well being are thought of by this angel too. The angel promotes eloquence and clear expression. Peace and tranquility are completely here in the energy of the angel. Hope and optimism and humor will surround you. God who sustains everything. And that was the Christmas message already early at Wednesday, December 10th, to make you sink into it and feel deeper the sexual twin flame nature of what Christmas really is. I bow for the primordial truth. I bow for the value of creation. I bow for the truth of beauty. I bow for everything true and of purity. Manifest creativity. Creator of us all, be with me when I open to connect with myself, when I uncover the creative source to retrieve her, the way you have placed it inside of me, and the way in which the exact same source moves and guides you as well. O divine creator, make that I will be receptive to your voice and lead me to the rhythm of your breath so that I will find the movement that leads me, find words for it, and can experience the being of them openly. Thank you for the abundance that is received in this moment. Thank you for the power that makes that I receive this moment. Oh, my man. Your next step. Don't forget to actually start the process and jump on the team. Actively come to our community, start doing the correct inner work, and start the support you deserve through our services so that we can start a relationship that will lead you to harmonious union and beyond. And when you're not in a relationship, you're not on the team, and I can't give you the results you are asking me for. Currently, the door towards the year group program Twin Flame Abundance Now is open. A new version specifically for those that want to become union coach, but also for those that simply want to go to their union because this will be the last time that I offer it as a whole. I'm looking for 6 people to step into this abundant opportunity. Information at creativeuniverse.earth/abundance now or the link below or in the pinned comment. The show notes. You can, however, support this ongoing Twin Flame news as such. Make it possible as co-creator. Without your participation is what it comes down to, and financial gifts, I can't do anything because we need to have an energetic and verbal visual exchange for things to make sense and to know what I need to talk about for you. And also we're on earth and it necessarily always worked with money as a means to make sacred content actually physically flow. Therefore, I post the show notes in Patreon. Come over and enjoy. Have influence on the broadcast by doing so and by letting me know in Patreon what you need me to talk about. And in general, don't miss out on the many benefits of this behind the scenes experience of Patreon. Patreon.com/PEJ at Creative Universe or the link that is published below. December's Patreon subscriber action is the Creative ID reading for only €88 plus VAT instead of €222 plus VAT. In this reading, you get so many clues about who your true twin flame really is in practice, in collaborating with you in your union's mission. And you receive ideas how to definitively call them in, including multimedia channeled symbols, sounds, and scenes. Ask me for the pay link for this very special December offer. I am Petra in the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union since March 2020. Worked with the new Christ Masters on Earth right now to roll this consciousness state out so everyone can enjoy the abundant life with their true twin flames soon enough after going in with me right here. Don't search any further. You reached what you were looking for. Om. Amen. And Merry Christmas.